record and give y'all a chance to share anything, good news in life and business and your results and your program.
I don't know. I did something interesting last night when I posted. I never really share about Beachbody, but I literally talked about how Beachbody On Demand changed my life, as far as when it came to working out and stuff. And I was so surprised to get comments on there. And then I had a friend from high school asking me what programs I liked the best. He already had a subscription. But, and then I had another gal reach out and she was like, oh, I just finished PIO and I was wondering about getting a bod subscription. So I was able to, and I just shared openly on my page, like, instead of like, oh, I'll PM you. I don't know. I know that there's a place for that and I'm not going to blast products all the time, but I feel like the engagement maybe created some FOMO, maybe from other people that might've seen comments. I don't know. But I was like, wowed. I don't know. So I just wanted to share that.
That's awesome. And what, did the guy already have a coach? The guy?
You know what? I might reach out to him and ask him if he has a coach or if he just subscribed to it on his own. He's a football coach, a guy that I used to go to high school with. So he's very physically fit and he uses it as a supplement. Yeah. Like if he's like in a crunch for time, then he'll do like T20 or something. That's what he shared with me. But, yeah, so I should reach out to him and see if he has a coach, and if not, I'll be like, hey, let me be your coach.
Exactly. I mean, you might
as
well. Like,
right.
He's gonna be, and I mean, if you have a group that you can invite men to, or something like a bod group, if he did like an all male bod group or something, or one that was mixed or something, you could always invite him to your bod group, and then you're giving him support if he needs it or whatever. I mean, so that he's actually getting something from you being his coach. Yeah. So cool. And see, and we talked about it last week, and I was saying like, you can do both. You can do curiosity marketing, and you can also talk about like, weave it in there. Cause I think it does. I think back when I started, it was like all curiosity. Like I was taught curiosity marketing, but I see all these top coaches, like they talk about Beachbody. They like talk about the products and the programs that they're using. And it's a known brand. I mean, so I think that if you aren't mentioning it sometimes, I think that people might not know that you're a Beachbody coach, and then they might sign up with somebody else. So.
Yes, when they are looking for it. And that's the thing. I want people to know that, listen, if you want this, I do this. But what I did with my post last night is I started with a story. And I didn't just say, oh, bod, right in the first paragraph. I started with the story and told it, and then I put it down, Beachbody On Demand like saved my butt, like kept me working out. But I put that down after I told the story. And so, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
See, it works. It works when you do it. That's awesome. Congrats. Anybody else? Good news? No? All right. Okay, so I want to talk tonight about, and I know Caitlin, I messaged you and I was like, let's talk about like systems and stuff. So I pretty much got humbled like the last couple weeks, which is really good because Kevin Jensen I had asked him to come on our team call, right? And he came and he did that guest speaker call, and I was kind of like being hard on myself, like as a leader, and saying like, oh, like kind of just taking digs at myself. And he's like, I've never known you to be like that. I've always thought that you thought you could do anything. And I'm like, yeah, I guess just with what happened to me in the business and like building a really big team and feeling like these people were like my sisterhood, and feeling like I felt like we were bonding, like we were, we went to Summit, we met up, like even like a girl, Charisse, that was a coach on our team. I remember when we first met at Summit, we were like, oh my God, like so happy to like hug each other and see each other. And then she left and went to sell like ketones and like didn't even tell me why she was leaving. She just said like, yeah, she just like quit coaching. And I took it so personally. Like a lot of things I've taken so personally. And so I thought it was something wrong with me. Like, like I'm a bad leader. Like I'm not a good leader. And I think that I've internalized that for so long that I still, there's like this belief that I don't know how to lead a team of people. And I'm like, what is the missing piece? Like, what's wrong with me? Like, why am I not able to like help my team succeed like beyond what I've done? that would be the ultimate thing that you want for your team, is them to succeed beyond what you've done. Like, because then that means that you guys are helping people. That means the ripple effect is going on and on and on, to so many people's lives are being changed. And then that means that your life is being changed financially, you know, in a big way, because of the fact that you're helping people. So literally he sent me this book, and it's called, I don't even remember what it's called. It's by Brett Blake, who used to work for Beachbody Corporate. I can tell you guys if you want to, but it might not be for you, because it was talking about renewal. It was talking about that there's seasons of network marketing businesses, and every company, when we have massive growth, when there's like a huge, which we did, Beachbody went to like $1 billion company in 2014, that there's always a correction. Like there's not one single network marketing company that has just continued the trajectory on a chart of growth, like straight up. Like they always have he called it a shakeout, where like the leadership starts, if you're not prepared to lead that big of a team, if you don't have the leadership skills to lead that big of a team, then you start losing people, and it's like the shakeout period. So it kind of goes down and then it comes back up. And some companies don't ever make it to renewal and go back up, and then they die down and then they close. And other companies, they figure out a way to, you know, renew themselves and go back up. And so I'm reading this book and I'm just like, oh my God, this is one, it's talking about Beachbody. Because when we got Beachbody on Demand and we went from DVDs to Beachbody on Demand, it was like this huge, not that we lost anything. It just, because we made it the programs all in one place for $99 for a year, whereas we used to charge like $140 per program with on the DVDs, and they were getting like a physical copy. And every time a program would launch, you'd be selling those DVDs and you'd see this huge spike in volume. Where when you had a big downline, because I would see it happen, I'd go from like $1,500 a week to $2,500 a week in like 1 week, just from like the spike in volume from the DVDs. Of course, Beachbody doesn't guarantee any level of success. It's all based on each individual skill, you know. Okay, so, but what happened is, Beachbody leadership couldn't keep up with all that growth. I think shipping couldn't keep up with all that growth. Customer service couldn't keep up with all that growth. And it's just, we got too like big for our britches. And some teams stayed okay. And my team didn't. Our team didn't. It fell apart. And then I took it like upon me, like, oh, it's my fault. And then I just kind of, and it's in the book, it says like leaders, when that happens, they step back and they stop doing team calls and they stop showing up, and I did that. I stopped doing team calls. I stopped showing up because it was embarrassing. You know, it was like I felt like a failure pretty much. So the things that you need to renew, number one is acquisition. Bringing on new customers. It's helping people get started. And if you don't have that happening in your business with new people every month, then your business isn't going to grow. So I have that. But my system that I'm using for whatever reason is not working for the team. And I think it's because I don't really have a system and I'm not organized. So I've been reading this book. Acquisition is the number one thing. And then you have to duplicate. That's number two. So you have to be acquiring new customers and coaches onto your team, and you have to be teaching people how to do the same. So I'm like, okay. And then 2 weeks ago, who listens to the National Wake Up Call? Like consistently? Raise your hand. Okay. I wasn't for a while. So I would admit, I just was like, I'm so busy. I have all these animals and like whatever. And I was like, okay, but I'm doing personal development. So if I'm doing personal development, why don't I just not read my book or listen that day, and I'll do the National Wake Up Call that day? You know, for one day in my week, the National Wake Up Call is my PD. By the way, I fast forward to the 20-minute mark because I don't listen to the like recognition or the announcements, because you can get that all on the COO. 2 weeks ago, there was a girl that talked about, and she literally was like, I'm just getting all these signs from like God saying like, this is what you need to do. This is what's missing. This is what you need to do. And you need to like, you know, share this and be humble. So she was talking about how she went like 4-star diamond premier by the end of her first year, which I never did that. It took me like, I think 4 years to make elite or something, or 3 or 4 years to make elite. But then her diamond started getting shaky and her team started falling apart and people were leaving, and she didn't have a system as to how she was recruiting, and she wasn't like tracking anything, and she didn't have any rhyme or reason as to like when she was bringing people on or getting started, she was just like all over the place. And that's what I still feel like I am now. Like I've been in the business for like 9 years. And what she did was she started watching videos and training videos like from Melanie Mitro and Lindsay Matway. And those were like my idols in the business when I first started. Like Lindsay was like climbing up the, top coach charts. So, and she talked about getting on a schedule, like getting on a posting schedule. And I'm like, oh my God, like ding, ding, ding. I'm teaching everybody, like, just post on social media, like, which is fine when you first start, because you have to start somewhere. So that's not wrong, because you don't want to do it perfectly. But if you're not like on a schedule of when you're like, if you don't have a group on the calendar when you're going to start your group, and you don't have like your sneak peek on the calendar of when you're going to do that, then how do you know when to post about what's coming up if you don't have it on the calendar? So she talked a little bit about like her calendar. I mean, she didn't really go over like details about it, but then I listened to Melanie Mitro's video, and she talked about how she plans, I think it's called like a social media, like, I don't even know what it's called, a monthly marketing plan. So what I really liked about what this girl did is the girl on the National Wake Up Call, she literally, sorry, I'm gonna open up her, and this is like totally, I'm gonna get to the next National Wake Up Call, but she says how she does it is she schedules out her month, like a month in advance. So it's a perfect time to do it right now, because we're at the end of August and September's coming up. So I'm gonna share with you guys, you know what, maybe I should back up and I don't know how I'm going to tie in the other story of this other girl, but I'm going to share with you guys what I started, and together we can do it together as a team, or I started it. I haven't finished it, but I'm working on our monthly marketing plan. Okay. So what she would do as the leader of the team is she would come up with the monthly marketing plan, and then she would share it with her team, and they would follow along on that plan with her. And so what that did was it helped people know what's coming. And that was another thing that the renewal book said. It's like, people don't want to be surprised. Even though we're in this business to work for ourselves and be our own boss, like, we still need to be on a schedule, because people are like used to that. And when you're just tossing surprises at people, which I do often because I'm like so disorganized, I'm like, oh, when are we going to do the next sneak peek? Oh, a week from now? Okay, let's put it on the calendar, So what she does, and I'm going to like go over it, is basically she picks out the date of when she's going to do her challenge group. So for me, I'm going to do it on the 7th. So you literally get it. Like, I was going to have my assistant do this for me, but I just decided that I was like, I don't think I can even communicate to her what to do to me. So, how to do it for me. So for me, I'm going to do another MBF only challenge group, which that needs to be a lot smaller. So I'm going to start it on the 7th. So I just want to give you an idea of what I'm doing right now leading up to that, because this is how Melanie Mitro does it. This is literally what she does. So I decided on Monday that I was going to start that challenge on the 7th. And I posted it on Monday. Like, I'm going to start a challenge group on September 7th with, the new program, MBF, whatever. And then she's like, but you can't just post your challenge group announcement and then not post about it again, like, if you didn't get any responses. Now is the point when you have to be jabbing all week. If you've ever read Gary Vaynerchuk's book, Jab, 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 Right Hook, it's about social media marketing and how you have to do the jabs are like where you're value, and you're sharing stuff to get them curious. And then the right hook is when you're actually having like the call to action. So get your date on the calendar, and then you have to market it for 2 weeks. So I should actually have like August, should be right here, right? It's like a week before on the Monday right here. If it went back a whole week. So I started this Monday, which was the 24th, right? So I posted that I'm going to have a group on the 7th. And then the next day I posted a Transformation Tuesday of like a before and after of me. And then I mentioned again my group, but I didn't invite to it. I just mentioned, like, these are the kind of results that you can get. Then today I asked for people to drop me some funny quotes and memes that I can share in my group. So I like posted like a funny thing that related to me on my page. And then I asked people, hey, drop drop some funny quotes and memes below so I can like have more stuff to share in my group that I'm starting on the 7th. So I'm going to keep trickling that all week for 2 weeks. So she says, market it for at least 2 to 2.5 weeks before it's actually going to come to fruition. And in that time, you're jabbing, you're showing them what kind of value you're going to give them. So like if you create meal plans for your people, or, you know, if you have meal plans that are already created, or if you're really good at sharing recipes in your groups, or if you're really good at putting personal development, mindset, motivation, whatever it is, share little blurbs of the value that you're going to be giving throughout those 2 weeks. This is what you'll be getting in my group, you know, little bits, so that it's pulling them, drawing them in and making them want to go in your group. And then of course, sharing in your stories and your posts too. And then what she does, so once she gets that, so she spends like the 2 weeks before the challenge group doing that. And then she actually starts a prep week on the 7th. So the actual challenge group wouldn't kick off till the 14th. And then she does a sneak peek into coaching the last 2 Thursdays of the month. So, I mean, we don't have to do it on a Thursday. I know we have it on Monday, but if Thursday would work better for everyone, then we could switch it to that, because I'm totally down for that. Like for me, it's whatever, because, you know, I'm always going to be able to do that. I don't have anything going on in the evening, but, you know, I'm home with my animals at that point anyway. So, and I don't think we should do 2. I think we should stick to like our 1 a month. And then eventually if we start seeing that it's doing really well, then we could start doing 2 a month. So like you get that on the calendar. And then once that challenge group is going, then the next 2 weeks, you need to be posting about coaching. So for 2 weeks, you need to be weaving in like coaching, like the benefits of what it's done for you. And it doesn't have to be about financial. Here we go. Now I can tie in this other story. And then this is a girl that was on the National Wake Up Call this past week. So if you're not listening to them, you're definitely doing yourself. I feel so fired up right now because I'm like excited, because I feel like I found the hole in my business that I can fix, you know, like I can help more people. So the National Wake Up Call was this girl on Monday. She lost 117 pounds in 1 year. She won the Beachbody Challenge. And what happened was the girl had breast implant illness. She had gotten breast implants in like 2009 or something, or 2003 or something. No, 2009, I think. Yeah. And she started having really bad, like the health issues. I mean, she's not diagnosing herself with breast implant illness, but she was having like the foggy brain, and like she was like depressed, like all these different things that were happening that are descriptive of, and she just had her implants put in that year. So she didn't realize, she was going to all these doctor's appointments and trying to see what was wrong with her, and no one could figure it out. And then she was so depressed, like gained 100 pounds, because all she was doing was just like eating her feelings. It's like living at home. She couldn't keep up with her 2 kids. Her husband, it was like so sad. Her husband was like taking them sledding, and she was like sitting in the car, like watching, and then getting videos and pictures of them later, because she couldn't do it. She couldn't move. She didn't have like the ability, because she was, you know, so out of shape. So anyway, figured it out, finally like was Googling and found out this is breast implant illness, got them taken out, gave herself a year to heal, started with Beachbody with a friend of hers, you know, did 7 rounds of 21-day fix, did the Ultimate Portion Fix nutrition program, Shakeology, and she won the Beachbody Challenge. Like she won like the prize. So what I wanted to share with you guys is her little video, because I think sometimes one thing I don't do enough of on this team either is I don't share enough about like the benefits of what we do besides like finances. Because for me, I know it's like you're here because you want to build a business, right? So I always talk about like, here's how you're going to earn, but it's really by helping people. That's how you're going to earn, by helping people. So this girl story is here. And it's just incredible. So I want to share this because I don't think I went to this.
Hi, my name is Hannah, and this is my story about losing 117 pounds. Before I started my fitness journey, I weighed 237 pounds. For 8 years, I suffered with health issues, which caused me to gain 115 pounds. There were so many times I'd have to sit and watch my kids as they would play at the playground or on amusement park rides. I wasn't able to fit in the rides. I felt like a terrible mother and wife. I really stopped living. That's when my friend told me about Beachbody and the success she had been having. I was inspired to lose weight to be present with my family. I started out with the 21-day fix workout. Don't cheat. The only person you're cheating is yourself. Being 237 pounds, I was mortified to have to go to the gym. I love being able to do my workouts in the privacy of my home. With Beachbody On Demand, I can pick any Beachbody workout program, and it's all in one spot. The Portion Fix nutrition plan was key for me. It taught me what kind of foods I should be eating and at what portions. Shakeology curbed my cravings and provided me energy throughout the day. My coach Taylor and I have been friends for years. She cheered me all along my journey. In less than a year with Beachbody programs, I lost 117 pounds and I've kept it off. I have gone from a size 22 to a size 2. I finally have a flat tummy. I'm confident, I feel good, and I'm strong. I am now able to do things with my kids, like go to the park or go sledding with them. Beachbody programs changed my life. My kids had the mother they deserve. I am so incredibly grateful.
All right, so that is like, I just was so inspired by her story. I'm like, this is why we do what we do. This is, you know, and not that I'm saying that I've ever helped anybody lose 117 pounds or I've done that myself, but, you know, it doesn't mean that we couldn't. And I wanted to share like the very end of this call where she talks about like the fulfillment, just so you can see like what a difference it's made for her family.
It's done for my family, especially my kids.
Okay, hold on.
I developed those leadership skills and confidence as I are outside your comfort zone. Coach in the last 15
here's the
months.
fulfillment part.
Oh man, there are so many things that coaching has brought me, but the most rewarding is what it's done for my family, especially my kids. My kids saw me sick in bed for a long time, and our lives were so different before Beachbody. I was unable to do things with them like sledding, going on rides, running around with them. And last year, I went sledding with my daughter for the first time because I could make it up the hills, and she had the biggest smile on her face, and I'll have that memory forever. It wasn't another missed memory. And then that amusement park that I cried and vowed I would never go back to. Last year, we got season tickets, and my kids had the best time, and in fact, had to keep up with me. We didn't have to worry about, is mom going to be able to go on this ride with us? They saw me take that time and working on my health and fitness, and then transitioning that into working my business. They've seen these past 15 months me working late on emails, team calls, helping my coaches and clients every day. They see their mom now building a legacy and a work ethic that I'm passing down to them, and I'm able to provide for my family financially. I'm so incredibly thankful that I can run this business from home and be with them, especially this year as they're starting school from home. But the best part is knowing that they're proud of me. When they say, that's my mom, like, that's the most rewarding thing out of all of this.
So I just really loved her story, and I really loved her share. So, you know, the reason that I'm sharing that with you was with two parts, because to inspire you to listen to the National Wake Up Call if you're not already, because I think that you do get a lot out of it, and also to realize what it is that we do. You know, we're getting paid to change people's lives, you know, so don't forget about, like, I guess, fill up your cup with those stories, because I think sometimes we lose sight of like why we're doing it, you know, because we're all caught up in like, oh, my post didn't get any likes, or nobody's commenting, or we're here to invite people to do this. That's it. Like, if you're inviting people to come do this opportunity, she like literally, I think when she's already a premier coach in like 1 year, just because of her, like, she has huge belief in the system. You know, she believes in what she's sharing. It's the belief is there. So if your belief is not there, then it's going to be really hard for you to, like, quote unquote, sell what we're doing to people like sell it to people if you don't believe in it. And I've always believed in this. Like there was, even when my team was leaving and they were going to all these other companies, like I never stopped believing in what we're doing as coaches. I never stopped believing in the system, that it works for not just me, but for other people, because I've seen it for 9 years, you know? So I'll be there till the end with Beachbody, you know, if it's the end of my life or whatever that is, because it works and we're always going to be adding stuff. So anyway, you have to be systematic, and you have to, there was a couple of things that she shared on her call that they asked her. She knows, first of all, she knows she wants to earn 6 figures. And she knows that in order to earn 6 figures, she has to treat her business the same way she treated her results with her fitness. So she didn't just work out 2 days a week. She didn't just, you know, eat right 2 days a week. She did it every single day. And so it's those daily consistent efforts with your business, whether it's 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, 30 minutes, that's going to ultimately lead to the results in your business. Just like your health and fitness journey. So they asked her how, you know, she was doing that. And she said, first thing is she focused on her challenge groups. So that's the number one thing. If you're not being proof the product works and you're not showing up in your challenge groups every day and showing up for your people and leading every day, then you're doing yourself a disservice and you're doing them a disservice, because, you know, that's a huge role that we have, is just showing up in our challenge groups every day. So that's why I so stress, like, be the best challenger ever. Like, be the best challenger you can be in your group, because you're not only leading, but you're also doing it. And that's how you're leading. Like, you're leading by your example of doing it. And then she started consistently sharing on social media. She has her girls post their sweaty selfies and their Shakeology pictures every day in their group, and she does the same thing. She has them engage with each other. She picks a challenger of the week and a challenger of the month. No prizes. She just probably does like a recognition thing, and just to make it fun. She hosts groups once a month, and she resets each month. She makes a new group so that they can continue to make that commitment to their health. And then she has new people joining her group every month too. So people join you because that was what I really liked about her, is she was saying how you don't have to have this huge weight loss story. You don't have to be at your goal to get people, like, to share your journey, because your unique story is going to connect with certain people that are more like you than like her. So people join you because they watch you on the journey, not because you're at your destination. So even if you still have weight to lose, or you have goals with your fitness and your health, people are going to join you when you're still on your journey. When you get to the, you know, it's a journey. It's a lifelong journey. It never ends. There really isn't a destination. So what she said at the end was helping people change their lives brings her joy that money could never give her. And the quote that they said at the end was, everyone who transforms wins. So just because you don't have this huge financial story as a coach doesn't mean that it hasn't brought a lot of purpose into your life, because the transformation is what we're all doing from the inside out. And that's what empowers us to live a more fulfilled life and a bigger purpose. So those are my notes on that. And I really just wanted to share that with you. And then I was going to have Caitlin share a little bit, because we were kind of chatting in the thread and saying, like, talking about our system. So my point of all of that is to be systematic with your approach to your health and fitness and to your business. And I think that part of the disconnect of our team is that I haven't been. So how can I, like, that's not being passed down. And that is like a hole right now. And so I'm going to be better about that. I'm making moves to be better about that. And I'm asking you guys also to, you know, have your input. And if you want to help me come up with the calendar, if you want to, you know, if we want to rotate who does the calendar, and you have to do the calendars too with the launches of new programs. So you have to get the stuff on there that's going to be launching, like the important dates from that month. And then have your system set up so that you're looking into the future for like the rest of the quarter. So, Caitlin, weren't we chatting about that?
Yeah, we chatted about systematically bringing on coaches, which is funny because I've only brought on one officially so far, but I really like the system I have for doing it. Because I remember like when I was a coach, I got really overwhelmed. I'm still a coach. When I was like new, I was so overwhelmed. There was so much to learn. I was like, I'm getting stuff from all different directions. And so I sat down and I was like, okay, if I was starting new, like, what would I want to know? How would I want to learn it? And I try to make it as simple as possible. So I grabbed stuff from the team page, the Team Aloha page, and I grabbed stuff like from Stephanie when she had her page like a long time ago, and I grabbed stuff from Team Genesis page, and I try to like condense it into like 4 units, like start here, work through here, and then at the very end I wrapped it up. I'm like, so if you're really overwhelmed, if you're really confused because it's a lot of information, here's the very like hard, narrow basics. So I tried to make it really duplicable in that aspect. So I can show you if you want. I have my team page up on my screen, but
Yeah, show us.
okay.
I'd like to see your system. I feel like you're really organized because you have to be.
Yeah. Do you mind enabling the screen sharing and I can
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
You're good. I actually have a calendar too. I can show you guys my free group post calendar because that's how I bring people on as free groups. I feel very bizarre like asking people to buy right away, like because I'm just a very much try it and then buy kind of person. That's just my tribe. There's other people who are like, yeah, you know, like all in right now, both feet, and I'm just very like one thing at a time kind of person. So I invite everyone to a free group first, and then at the end of the free group, I invite them to, you know, do the challenge pack. So I want to give that value, which is something that's been taught forever, is to do free groups, you know, a week, 2 weeks, whatever. I just have finally found like my happy system. It's a 1 month free group, and at the end of the month, they've had like enough time to really try it and really get some results. So, all right, I'm going to, share my screen.
Did you come in through a free group?
I'm sorry?
Did you come in through a free group?
No, I actually came in through Insanity.
Okay.
So I'd had it in college, and then I met Stephanie when I was working as a door-to-door like salesperson. We opened the door and we're like, holy shit, you are in shape. Like, and she
That's
told me
awesome.
about everything. And that was like right when all of
So
like,
you got Stephanie in person? You were
yeah,
hilarious.
I knocked on her door. And we didn't talk about anything I was supposed to be selling. I was like, she sold me is what happened.
That's awesome. I love it.
It was like right at the beginning when the challenge groups and the accountability groups had like just started. This was back in like 2012, 2013. So we were all still coming up with our systems. So, but if there was a free group option, I would have done it. But she let me do Insanity in her group for free. Like she didn't ask me to buy anything else. So it kind of was like a free group.
Right. That's how I bought my program off eBay. But there wasn't challenge groups back then. So
Yeah, I actually bought Insanity on an infomercial. That's how long ago this was.
that's awesome.
Saw it on TV and I was like, yep, I look like I want to die. So it works. So this is my free group like posting calendar. So this tells me like what I'm doing with my free group every day as far as like, you know, my scheduling post, my recording post, because I try to do it once a week. And then I send welcome letters, like handwritten welcome letters to everybody who joins it, just saying thanks. And I have a cute little like card that has the definition of Flossom on it that I include with it. And I just say thanks for joining. You can see all the different things on here, but there's like invite people, you know, I try to do 5 invites a day for 2 weeks leading up to the free group. And I try to limit my invites in the sense that because I get a lot of yeses because it is free. I want to be able to focus on the people that I bring in, and I only have so much time and energy to spare with this plus my other job right now. So I limit it to about 50 invites, and I usually end up with 10-ish people saying yes. So free group's going well, but that's my calendar. But let me go to the team page because we're talking about coaches more than anything right now.
Okay, so but back up. So you send them invites, personal messages to invite to your free group. You invite like 50 people and 10 of them say yes.
Yes.
And you're PMing them.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
after I've connected with them though. It's not like a random, like I just added you and hey, here's a free group message because I can't stand that.
Right. So it's the people that you've connected on social media with. And do you have a script that you use?
Yeah, it's actually in my coach thing here. I gave it to my coaches.
Cool.
So,
all right.
So this is the Floss and Sauce page, and I broke it all down into units. So I don't know how to go into these actual units. I'm learning myself here. So unit 1 is just getting started right. This is really like, this is all of the information right here all at once. I wanted them to know where they could go to find answers on everything. So I actually have a welcome letter that I have fill out, and it asks them what their goals are. Do they want to be a hobby coach, or are they more of like, let's build a business? It asks them about their why, so I know how to motivate them and how to use that to motivate them if I see them falling off, like, hey, you said you want to be fit for your kids and you're not, so we should work on that. So it just kind of gets me to get to know them better. Then I ask them about their plan, meaning like what program they're using, what shakes, if they're using shakes, if they're not, all that good stuff. Because I told them, it's like, you have to be proof of the product. If you don't know anything about the products, you can't sell them. And I firmly believe that you have to be passionate about what you're selling, or else they're going to see that you're selling. It's going to feel like you're selling if you're not like passionate. So did that, talked about nutrition too, because I started with exercise and then I added in the nutrition later. Doing it all at once was really overwhelming for me. So I was like, I'm going to just focus on moving my body 4 or 5 days a week first. And then once I got that under control, I added in starting to eat better and learning the portion control. So that's why I set it up that way. Kind of talks about Shakeology in the steps here again, gives them some stuff like that. This is all the quick links just to get connected to everybody. So I want them to have connections to Aloha and Genesis, as well as Beachbody Coach 411, because that's where all of the important team calls and meetings and everything are. It has a list here of what time they are, all that good stuff. Ask them to do a plan of attack. And I try to include like an action item on the first couple units so I know that they're doing it. It's not just read it and done. I want them to be able to actually do it. So this is where to find answers. So if they have questions on anything, it's a whole list of here's where all the answers are. Check these first. And I was like, if you really can't find it, like at the very end, I was like, then talk to me. But you need to learn this for yourself. I can't answer all your questions all the time. So started with that. And then this was just bookmark and download sites. So just important things for them to keep on their phones. So if they wanted to put it on the internet for like a quick access, they could have that. Talked about personal development, why it's so important, why they need to do it, gave them suggestions for some books to start with or some videos to start with. Asked them to tell me which one they're going to do first. And then I gave them Coach University too, which I've done and I really like. I feel like Team Genesis did a phenomenal job of breaking down just coaching in general, like the whole back office part of it, because it confused the fuck out of me. I was like, I don't know about team volume. I don't understand right leg, left leg. I don't know any of these things. And I really liked their PV breakdown versus going for success club points, especially for my particular tribe, because it's not often I sell a challenge pack. It's usually one thing, and then 30 days, like 60 days later, it's another. So that made sense to me, was aim for personal volume totals versus the challenge packs, which the challenge packs will come. But I'm really, just like you said earlier, I'm here to help people. I'm not trying to sell. I want to help them change their lifestyle. I want them to be happy and reach their goals, and whatever that looks like to them, cool. Don't care. Like maybe it's starting with a beach bar, sweet. Like have a beach bar. But did you know you can have a free workout? And then try to like slowly push them that way. So and then unit 2, I go into like marketing and growing the business, because that's always what you want to do after you've figured out the basics. So I used a lot of the Jace Lundgren stuff. I really like her stuff. I like Instagram. So I included the vital behaviors in here. Networking, how to find it. There's the power hour for it. I've got Jace's video in here explaining how to do it. And then I moved into connecting and then inviting. And then I know that a lot of people that are in my tribe are like, I can't do all 3 of those power hours every day. I don't have time for this shenanigans. So I gave them her other one, which was like a mix of all 3 of those power hours all together, so that they can do that instead. Because I was like, no excuses, you can make this work. If you want it, you will make it work. So here's a quick way of how to do it, so they didn't have to reinvent the wheel. And then there was just like a bonus one. She had an engagement power hour, which I personally haven't watched, to be honest, but it looked really good from the highlights that I saw. So I included it because I thought it would be beneficial if they really wanted to go above and beyond. And then unit 3, it was like, okay, cool, but like, now what? So this is really like what I do as a coach to be successful. This is how I got here. And keep in mind, successful in my mind is like actually doing something with the business now, because I was a hobby coach for 5 or 6 years. And just like this year in January, I was like, okay, let's actually do this. I think my life's together enough. Like, I think I got this. So I actually created a business building activity tracker that I use. So I linked it in there for them. And it is this one right here. And I like having it here instead of on paper, because I'm always running. You know this. I have meetings like left and right all the time. So these are all the things that I aim to do every day. Now you'll see I don't have everything checked, of course, because this week's been insane and I'm making excuses. I just need to shut up and do it. But these are all the different things. And I'm like, you have to do these things every day to be successful. Got the power hours in here. It's got just, and it's basic stuff. That's what it comes down to, is like, just do the right basic things. But I like it because you can copy the sheet and then you can go back and you can like watch the progress. Like, hey, back in, August of 2020, I was only hitting 70% of my check marks every week. And then now it's like every single week. Like, no wonder my business is growing, because I'm doing all the things. So I gave them a link to that. And I gave them the monthly calendar, which is the one I just showed you guys a while back, this one here. I actually have some workouts and stuff scheduled. So if you go a month ahead, I've got all the workouts, and good grief, can't use my arrows today. There we go. I've got all the workouts scheduled. I know what I'm doing with my free groups. The free groups on there and the workouts are on there. There's also runs that I do that you can't really see because I have 5,000 things scheduled here, but all my runs are on there because I'm training for a 50-mile race. So like all those things are there. But I wanted them to have access to that so that they had an idea of like what to do. And the T20 is something that myself and the girls from the challenge group are doing. I was like, so if you want to do this, you got to purchase the access. I'm like, it's cheap, but you got to purchase it, but it's worth it. So I've gotten, I think, 2 or 3 people to go ahead and do it with me. So we're all going to do T20 together this month. So it'll be fun. And then for real though, what should I be doing? I tried to make it super easy. I was like, this is where we are. This is the very basics of coaching. I'm like, 8 steps to coaching. Here you go. Like, familiarize yourself with the units, do the tasks daily that you're supposed to do, start building a following. And I told him, I was like, this is the way that I do it, is building a free group. This is how I build the free group, and how I invite people to the free group. And then what I do once they're in the free group, I love them to death. I tell them, good job. We have Snapchat groups, and I like send them stuff all the time. We have dance parties on Snapchat. Like, we have all kinds of shit. But it's just to be a supportive, fun environment. And at the end of the month, we ask if they want to do something else, or if they want to stay in the free group, then they can have whatever they want. The only option I don't give them is option C, which is to not do something. I'm like, you're going to do either a free group or you're going to do a paid. You don't get a back out option. This is not a thing. And then I just tell them to repeat it. And if you do it enough consistently, like, you'll start bringing people on, you'll start helping people, your business will grow. So it's just like a exponential curve. And then just a couple tips and other info is like unit 4, it's like a wrap up thing. So this is where my free group invite is. I gave them that script. Kind of explains like what we do. I was like, give them something personal. I was like, don't be creepy, make a connection first, and then you can invite after you've connected with humans. In the next step, it tells them like literally like if they're not interested or if they are interested, here's what I send them, here's what I do after that, all that good stuff. Once the free group's over, here's what you do when it's over. I was like, I'm not doing it for you. This is your person, not mine. So here's all your stuff. It's like, here's some links and some videos. I actually recorded a video about like how to find everything on BOD, which is what this is. I gave them a whole Pinterest board that I made of just Shakeology recipes. I was like, send it to them, because that's what I've sent to my people and they love them. They're like, holy shit, this is the best thing ever. And they're obsessed with their cafe latte recipes now. And then down here is like how to add someone to the free group using BODs and the share a cart, because that kind of threw me off at first. I was like, if I was a brand new coach, I wouldn't understand this. So it's step by steps for like how to do it. So I don't have to tell everybody via Facebook Messenger. Oh, you ready to add someone? Like, here you go. Like, no, go to unit 4, go to this. Like, I'm trying to remove myself. I'm making you self-sufficient. Like, and then down here is the BB links. And then I included very last thing was do or do nots. Something I thought it was like super important to include because I was talking to a girl who is planning to sign up as a coach. And she's like, oh yeah, I was working with someone and I like was helping them with like a nutrition plan and a workout plan. I'm like, no, wrong. It's like you're reinventing the wheel. I was like, you give them bod groups and you're not a nutritionist, so you can't claim to be a nutritionist and that's going to get you into hot water, so don't do that. I was like, you can make suggestions, you can give advice, but you can't say this is like legit going to help you. So and I told him too, it was like, don't make false promises or statements, because I don't know if you guys saw it, but a while back some coach said something about if you use Beachbody products or whatever, it'll reduce your risk of COVID, and they got nixed. I was like, you can't say that. No, you only use what they give you, but they give you more than enough to work with. And then it was just like, we're here to help. So that was like a super, super fast like rundown, but that's what I've created. It makes sense in my brain, like how to do all that. You guys are welcome to, I can throw you in the group if you want to use it or doctor it up or whatever for your own. So that's that.
That is amazing. I love how you simplified it and you really streamlined it. Did you do all of that yourself?
Yeah, I did.
You are amazing. So good.
Super simple. You guys are welcome to use it. I don't care. We can copy it. It doesn't matter to me.
I love it. I love it.
Next
So,
slide.
are you open for, does anyone have questions? Are you open to?
I'm super excited to get some people in it because Dave's in it and he's like, oh, these posts are really good. They're really good. And he's doing his photography stuff right now. I'm like, man, I'm gonna kick your butt. Like, as long as you're here, as long as you're still around. So.
Did your free group, I would like to ask you, when you started this, like doing the free groups and stuff, did you have success like right away? Or did it take a little bit of time for you to get your groove with the free groups and stuff?
It actually was pretty good right off the bat. I think I had 2 or 3 people for my free group right off the bat, and we were just really involved. We did the squat booty